All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. We have Andrew with Cardinal Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, Electric out of Wisconsin. Andrew, thank you so much for joining us today.
Happy to be here.
Excellent. Let's start. Just tell us a little bit about Cardinal, how it got started, and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, Cardinal's been around for 40 years now. Oh, a little bit more. Started just with the original founder, Rick, and his truck and his a side room in his house. And he just had a passion for it and helping people and serving the community and doing right by people, and just grew and grew and grew. And now we have over 200 employees at Cardinal, and one of the fastest growing companies in home services around. So they're a pretty cool transition to hear about. I've only been with Cardinal for 2.5 years, but
What a team to join. You're so dynamic, and it sounds like from the very beginning, integrity was a really big part of building that team.
yeah, Rick and his family and really started that. And he wasn't the military. He's a veteran, and that level of integrity and kind of doing what you say and just standing by people and doing right by people has been part of the fabric of Cardinal since it started, and from his family values and how he was raised, and just kind of how he carries himself, and that's still here today.
I love that. That's great. Let's talk a little bit quickly about revenue growth over the last couple of years. Let's say 5 years ago, where were you and where are you today?
5 years ago, we were just over 20 million, and we've grown. I did the math a little bit ago. Yeah,
Yep.
162% since then. So we've had quite the half decade or so.
Wow. That is a lot of moving parts. Amazing. Let's talk a little bit about your marketing. Obviously, over the years, a lot of effort has been put into different types of marketing. Let's talk a little bit about what is something you've done that didn't quite stick or didn't work like you thought it would.
Man, there's a lot.
Yeah.
I think some of the different launches and trying new things, like we tried to launch a customer rewards, a gifting program last year, and it was super fancy, a lot of moving parts, very complex, and had a lot of potential value. But oftentimes when you try to launch something that has a lot of moving parts that touches multiple areas across the organization, it you fumble it. And that was a learning experience for us, towards like when you're trying to launch something with that many moving parts and touches your customers in every tech and multiple different areas, you have to be very careful in how you roll it out. And
Mhm.
the the goal of rewarding our customers was the right goal, but trying to do something that was so complex just caused a lot of internal friction across the different
Mm.
departments, and a lot of confusion and things like that. So it was
Mm.
a big learning experience for me, and how
Sure.
you roll out big projects and getting people involved, and from the ideation phase to launching it, how important it is to just make sure everybody knows what's happening, and if you should do it or not. So
Sure. Yeah, that's very fair. And it sounds like a great learning experience. Having that foundation before you roll something out is so important. So thanks for sharing that. What about the opposite end of that? What have you done in your marketing efforts that has just been extremely successful that you're very excited about?
right now, it's really been a couple of things. When I first joined Cardinal, I'm a big believer on creating very specific ideal personas. And it's a big difference from like the target avatar or the target audience that a
Mhm.
lot of marketers talk about, where it's just demographic focused. We built out a very specific persona named homeowner Hannah, and we wanted to focus on the female and the woman in the household, and structure and change all of our messaging to her, and not necessarily the guys in the household, because previously, in our industry, it's mostly men that are in our companies. I mean, probably met 80% dudes that work for
Yeah.
Cardinal. And if it's the techs, it's probably closer to 100%.
Right.
Like I think we have one female tech right now and she's in training, but the rest are men. So we shifted all of our messaging strategy, all of our filters, all of our billboards, radio, TV, social, everything is filtered to speak to her. And we've done that and stuck to her since I've joined. And
Okay.
now we've built out an AI creative brief system that's all trained on our brand voice, our brand standards, and some of the best copywriters, frameworks, and processes, and a lot of different copywriting best practices. And we have a whole AI brand voice system
Mhm.
that's about 20 different agents right now that we use to craft and improve our messaging and continue to speak more and more to Hannah because I'm a dude and my department's all dudes. So we don't necessarily know how to talk to the homeowner who is a mom and has 3 kids and,
Mhm.
living in the suburbs of Madison, Wisconsin, and what she's dealing with and what she wants to know about reverse osmosis systems,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it gives us a sounding board that speaks like her and knows her challenges and knows her pains and allows us to shape our messaging out of like the technical jargon that we know and speak to, and maybe our vendors and manufacturers know and speak to what she actually cares about and
Mhm.
what she wants to hear.
I love that. And I'll touch on that a little bit further down as well. It's just such a cool idea. And the fact that you've dialed into the fact that the person opening the door, the person phoning, is quite often the mom, the wife, the lady, and it's just incredible that you've recognized that and you've created such a complex solution to that side of things. What about in terms of marketing and what's worked, what is your most profitable marketing funnel?
Well, most profitable marketing funnel, I honestly couldn't tell you from a profitable because we don't really track it from a funnel
Yeah,
perspective.
that's
We and one of the things that is an opportunity for me as a marketer is to grow the attribution and tracking side of things, but it's also one of the most difficult things to do in today's world, especially now with AI and how people are, it's how people are going
yep.
to the GPTs and the co-pilots and then the Geminis, and which now Gemini's woven into the search results and into Google, where you don't know how people are finding you. So I've been focusing a lot less on tactical attribution and much more on the campaign. So I guess our campaigns are 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 our funnels, right? So each
Mhm.
month
Of
we have
course.
3 separate campaigns, three
Yeah.
separate offers, one for each trade. And some of the more successful campaigns we've done have been focused on like our low ticket stuff, like
Okay.
tune up offers
Yeah.
and free water tests and free panel checks and things that if you only did them, they'd kind of cost you money.
Sure.
But we have amazing techs and service people that follow our process. And once we're in the home, they're very good at
Right.
upselling and looking for other opportunities and getting
Sure.
data on the home. And we use tools they call Faraday to capture all the dates and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's amazing because what that really does is it approaches the client in a holistic aspect, right? You're not just going to fix the problem that they're calling about. You're making sure that there's no other things that need to be given attention. There's no other issues that the homeowner might find down the road. So that's really something you do that protects the client, right? Is that holistic approach when the technician goes and actually takes a look at everything else and makes sure that everything else is okay or needs attention, right? I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. We really focus a lot on those opportunities. I mean, a lot of room for improvement some techs are great at it. Some techs need a lot more training. Some
Sure.
are a little bit newer and they don't necessarily think like a marketer or think like me. So an opportunity for me to market and communicate to why we do things. Because we were in a
Yeah.
leadership training last week and I was talking to one of the electrical assistant managers and talking about why it's important to have the ages of equipment for the
Yeah.
things. Because he's an electrician, so he's not going to necessarily look at the furnace or things like that, or the water heater or whatnot. He thought it was because we needed to know what parts we would need if we were ever to come out there again.
Yeah.
And he didn't even think that it would be a tool for marketing where we could send them emails and postcards and a variety
Follow
of
up.
other things.
Yeah. Yeah. You touched on something there. You said you have some techs that are extremely, skilled or mature in the space, and then others that aren't. Cardinal does a really cool thing with their training. So let's talk a little bit about the Cardinal University and how that started and how it operates today.
So yeah, several years ago, we started our own Cardinal University where we train. It's just an HVAC right now. We're launching a plumbing this year, but we train our own service and install technicians with it's usually around a 6-month training program where they come in, usually don't have prior experience in home services, and we teach them all the hard skills and the soft skills. And it's a paid training program. And right now, for I think all of our techs, over 50% of them came to us from our own Cardinal University. So they're all kind of grown internally
Yeah.
from people who weren't in the industry before, because it's so hard to attract talent
Hmm.
in today's world. So
Yeah.
we're just kind of playing a long game, and very grateful we did that several years ago, because now, we can bring in people who are interested in the trades, and getting more and more. We have to turn people away now for the program.
Wow.
We're just really hiring for culture fit,
Yeah.
and we'll train them on the hard skills.
That's amazing. Yeah. When I was visiting there, it was just so cool to see how dialed in you are to the recruitment side of things, because that is the number one issue in growth for home services companies is recruiting the right people. Now you touched a little bit on culture and you're very correct there. You can teach skills, but the culture side of thing, that's the most important thing, is that they fit with you and your values and the Cardinal way. What do you do internally to foster that Cardinal culture? What types of things or activities do you have that really promote that connection?
So, I mean, our core values are teamwork, forward thinking, customer first, commitment to excellence, and do what's right. And we have core value awards where we nominate employees and recognize them for the core value of the month. I mean, our supervisors and team leads are trained on, examples, and
Yeah.
we celebrate examples of, each one. And it's really part of the fabric of
Mhm.
as we measure how are the boots in the crowd, how they're
Yeah.
doing, you know, what is do what's right, and
Yeah.
what is customer first, and what is forward thinking, and helping people come up with ideas and examples of like, all right, well, when you're at a customer's house and she's elderly and her sidewalk hasn't been shoveled yet, take the extra 15 minutes to shovel her sidewalk, because
I love that.
that's the right thing to do. And
Yeah.
we get Google reviews all the time where our guys are out just, doing
Doing their
little things, taking trash cans out, bringing trash cans back in, cleaning up after themselves. We wear these little booties in people's houses and keep it clean, and everyone's clean themselves and has, logoed
Yeah.
stuff, and not a bunch of dirty, trucks and dirty clothes and pants. And
Yeah.
it's all the little 1% details that go a long way. I mean, we get our customers love this text message they get that shows the tech that's showing up, and it has a little blurb about them where they came from, their favorite candy bar, some of their hobbies and things like that. And especially the women of the household, because we work with a lot of, widowed women or single women or divorced women that just want to feel safe. And
Yeah,
that really makes a big difference.
absolutely. So that's exactly what I was going to touch on down the road, was that trust factor and how you gain that confidence when you're going to someone's house. And so ahead of the appointment, you will send a little blurb about the tech and some fun facts about them and a photo and things like that, which is amazing. I know when I'm opening the door to any home service or anyone for anything, you really want to have that confidence that you can trust who's coming in your home. It's no small thing, right? Mm,
Mhm.
when you're at the client's home, we all know, like you said about Google reviews. Do you initiate Google review requests in the home as the technician is there, and how does that land, and how do you approach that?
It's a very proactive process where our techs, all of our techs are trained on, and we have little spiffs for them. I don't know if that's, I don't know if Google is listening to this, but
No, initially we call
uh,
them incentivizing, yeah, which is
yeah.
totally kosher.
So I'm not sure what Google's policy. You want to get it. You don't want to get slapped by Google these days.
No,
But gotta pay homage to the Google lords
of
of
course.
business. So we have a QR code that the techs have on their iPads, and while they're in front of the customer, they just ask like, "Hey, you know, my manager looks at this. It make a big difference if you
Yeah.
can just scan this QR code, and it sends them to a landing page where they can, provide that review, and it's just part of our process, and our techs are incentivized to do so, but also recognized. And by doing that, I think we have now over 5,000 Google reviews and a 4.9 rating on Google, which our next competitor is maybe a fifth of that locally.
Wow, that's amazing. Let's talk. You've talked quite a bit about how your technicians touch the clients in ways that are different from just the work that they're doing, taking out garbage and shoveling sidewalks. Let's talk a little bit about community involvement. I know you're a family guy, and there's a lot of family centered focus within Cardinal. What type of community involvement does Cardinal do, and do you have any ideas in the next year for some new ways to connect?
That's one thing that we do put a lot of emphasis on. We do sponsor a lot of little leagues and sports teams, and with 200 employees, we typically don't say no. Someone's like, "Hey, will you sponsor my kid's softball team or soccer team?" We do have a lot of presence in the Sun Prairie market, which is where our headquarters is located, which is about, borders Madison at the suburb, only like 35,000 people, but, we're on their football team, their scoreboard, and we just sponsored a pickleball facility, and just, and we know that all of those little things matter.
Yeah.
It matters to our employees a lot, because obviously, like, my daughter plays club volleyball, and
Yeah.
she played volleyball team for the high school team. And so I sponsored, I know a guy who manages all the marketing. So,
Oh, there you go.
so,
You,
so
you know, guy.
we were whatever, the highest level sponsor for
Uh,
my daughter's high school sports team and stuff.
yeah.
And it's not something that, I think that's one of the big things that sets the leadership of
Mhm.
Cardinal apart, is that they believe in marketing. They believe in investing in marketing, and they're not, holding my feet to the coals of like
Mhm.
100% attribution to every campaign and
Yeah.
source that I'm doing. It's just like,
Yeah.
okay, well, we're filtering it really through, like, okay,
Yeah.
well, does this reach target, our target ideal persona?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it something she's looking at? And if so, then we just have to pair the right messaging there.
Absolutely.
And with that mindset and belief in marketing, and we just keep spending 5% of our next year's goal on advertising. And we just, oddly
I
enough,
love that.
we're growing it, 20 to 25% to
Yeah.
30% a year, depending on
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a good point. You have to invest, you have to reinvest that money and continue you rather than a lot of people, they get a little nervous and they pull funds from something before it has a chance to succeed but having that consistency in reinvesting in your marketing is so important. On that note, if you were to be sitting across the table from somebody who says, Andrew, I really want to start my own company, I really want to grow my business, what two pieces of advice would you give them to take that next step?
It's a concept I've been thinking about where it's like backyard marketing towards like
Mhm.
own your yard
Mm.
and whatever that yard is, you define it and dominate it. If it's, if it's 7 square blocks, if it's one zip code,
Yeah.
if it's one city, it could be anything depending on where you're at. I mean, if you're just getting going, maybe it's 7 square blocks and you're putting yard signs up and knocking on doors and hanging
Yeah.
flyers and kissing babies and shaking hands and parts of their neighborhood Facebook community pages and part of their kids softball team and
Mm.
whatever. I mean, you want to own that yard, right?
Yeah.
And in my opinion, that would be if I were starting a business, and your yard just grows every year. And then
Yeah.
as you do good business, then it'll continue to grow with word of mouth. And I think the second thing I would do is focus on that community first mindset,
Mhm.
both community inside your business and outside your business. I think those in the world of AI and all that stuff, people are craving community and connection and
Yeah.
camaraderie and things like that would be two things that I believe would be a good cornerstone to build off of,
Yeah.
no matter what size business you are. But for the
Yeah.
first few years, that's where I would go.
That's amazing. And those are really great points. Own your backyard and build connection because that's truly the foundation of it all, isn't it? Just creating that space around you, protecting it and growing it. Like you said, the grass will keep growing if there's no fence on it, right? So just foster what's right beside you, what's right behind you, and watch it grow from there. So that's really good advice.
Thanks.
Well, Andrew, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me today on this, and very grateful for your time and really excited to see what Cardinal does over the next year.
Happy to be here. Thanks for the invite. Appreciate the opportunity to share a few of the things that's going on at Cardinal, and thank you for everything your team does. Your team does help support us and super communicative, and we've been a valued customer of you guys for several years now, and a lot of the other companies that are looking at us, they're like, "What are you guys doing that are different?" And oftentimes I'll sing the praises of your team and the things you guys are doing. So we really appreciate it.
Well, it's truly an honor. Thank you so much.